Now, would you just look at this? Look at this beautiful, delicious, fluffy angel food cake. Let's make it. Hey everybody, it's me, Hetty, and I'm going to share with you how I make my angel food cake. Without further ado, I'm going to go over the ingredients. There are just a few tricks, nothing big. Angel food cake is easy to mix, but you got to have everything ready. So, let's get into it. What I have here is about approximately 1 1/4 cup of eggs. In my case, depending on the size of your eggs, it's going to be 9 to 10 eggs. If you have a scale, you could weigh it out. But if you don't, just measure out 1 1/4. And these are room temperature, by the way, room temperature. And I'm sorry I don't have my little stand mixer cam. I'll try to get a good shot for you. All right, now, next, what I have here is 1 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. Like I said, there's a few things you need to have to make an angel food cake. Is simple to make, but you do need to have a few things. I'm also going to show you this before we get going. This is a cup of sifted cake flour that I've sifted twice. I also have, and I've already divided it, I have 1 1/2 cups. And y'all know I use that superfine sugar already. So even though I use superfine sugar, I still sift it. I've sifted the sugar twice. So I sifted the cake flour twice and the sugar twice. Now I'm reserving half of that. So 3/4 cup is reserved. Okay, that'll go in with the egg whites. Not in the beginning, but after I get them whipping up. And as you can see, I just put my cake flour in with the other half of that sugar. All right, so I also have 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And also, I meant to add, I do have a 1/2 teaspoon of salt in with my cake flour, which I have sifted. All right, so let me, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get the egg whites to going. You don't need to see me turn this on. As I'm getting them whipped, we'll go from there. Next, I'm gonna sift this together twice again. So 4 total, 2 sugars separate, 2 cake flour separate, because they lump up, guys, they still lump up. And then I'm gonna sift this twice together along with the salt, of course, like I said, which I've actually already done that with the cake flour once. All right, so let me get these to whipping and we'll come back and when I make a little progress here, I'll show you. Oh, one more thing I wanted to add. Look, you need a tube pan. I'm trying to do this. I've got the stand mixer in the way. You need the kind that's got the bottom that comes out. If you don't have that, don't try a bundt pan and do not try like round cake pans. Don't do it. You will not be happy with the results. If you have to, I would do a loaf pan. But if you can, if you're gonna make an angel food cake, go to the trouble to have one of these. And whatever you do, this is the exception to the rule. Whatever you do, do not grease it. Do not grease it. Either go back in, even if you put it in the dishwasher from last time, go back in, you can spritz it with a little lemon water, then hand dry it again, dry it thoroughly, make sure there's no lint or anything, and then you'll be good to go. Okay, I had forgotten to mention that. I apologize ahead of time, but I'm gonna have to keep the mixer running while I do this next part. I am gonna try to hold the microphone a little closer, but it's still gonna be pretty loud. So as always, you know, all my instructions and recipes are down below. Okay, we've been going about, just slightly over 3 minutes. So here is the 3/4 of a cup. Here's the 3/4 of a cup. I'm gonna tell you this before I start doing it. So that way, if I can turn the volume down on the, so you don't have to hear the mixer so high. Here's the 3/4 cup of, again, sifted twice, extra fine sugar. You really want extra fine sugar. If you can get it at your store, you gotta look for it, but most people, you can get it. They used to also call it, I've heard it called iced tea sugar. But anyway, Dixie Crystals are one of them, used to sell it called iced tea sugar. I don't think they make it anymore, but it's super fine. In fact, mine is Dixie Crystals, super fine. We've talked about that. Anyway, I'm gonna barely, after I turn the mixer back on, I'm gonna barely sprinkle, no more than, 2 or 3 teaspoons at a time. I know this part is slow. It'll be a pain in the butt, but you do not want to, don't just dump your sugar in there, okay? You don't want to collapse your egg whites as they're going, and you want to let it keep mixing in. So again, I'll turn the volume down for this next segment, and I'm gonna try to not talk. That's hard to do, but here we go. Like I always say, it doesn't matter if you have one of those scraper beaters or whatever you're using, still go in just to be sure and give a little bowl scrape. And don't bump the tripod when you do it. I also want to make one more quick mention. I got to thinking about it after I was already mixing this. You know how I told you about the lemon water? I keep lemon water on hand in my kitchen all the time. I just keep it in the fridge, right in the door, in a little squirt bottle. And the same thing here. I should have mentioned this before, but always, everything's down below. You know that. You can do the same thing with this bowl. You don't want this, any grease, you don't want anything, no remnants of anything. You just want it squeaky, sparkling, shiny clean. Start with a dry, clean bowl, and then you won't have any problems. Okay, I'm gonna give a final mix of this, and then I'm gonna finish off camera. Well, you can see me. It's not that hard. Look, I'm gonna sit here off camera. Well, I can do it better not holding it in the air, but I'm gonna sift this one more time. This last little mix, in goes the vanilla extract. Here we go. I'm gonna show you these beautiful, beautiful, nice soft peaks. See how it holds that. Not too stiff. You don't want it too stiff. Okay, so again, let me finish sifting. I just want to show you that before I put the whisk in the sink. All right, okay, here we go. Sifted, ready to go. I've just grabbed a scoop. This is a 1/4 cup. That part really doesn't matter. I'm not even gonna fill this up all the way. Well, I might. I'm probably gonna go back 1/4 cup at a time. Literally, I'm gonna just sprinkle this over the top. That's how I do it anyway. You don't want to dump it all in there. And then I've shown y'all folding before. You would think it'd be kind of obvious, but people really don't know. So fold. I usually sit here and I fold like this. I do a 1/4 turn, come up through the middle, cut in, up through the middle, cut in, cut up through the middle. And you're not wanting to beat this batter done. You want to keep it fluffy. So just every little bit, just come back in. And you're gonna sprinkle this in, no more than about a 1/4 cup at a time until it's all incorporated, but don't do it to death. You don't wanna deflate the egg white. And that cream of tartar does help stabilize them, but still you can overbeat it. Whatever you do, do not use a mixer for this. Some things you just gotta do old school. I'm gonna do the rest of this. I'll save the last little bit for y'all. Okay, in goes the last little sprinkle. That wasn't even quite a quarter of a cup. Again, remember, you don't want to collapse your air bubbles in the egg whites. So just, this is awkward for me. I wouldn't be doing this exactly like this, but fold, fold. I've told y'all, fold, fold, okay? I'm gonna fold this and let me get the cake pan in place and we'll come right back. Cake pan in place. And you don't wanna go too fast with this because, you know, especially angel food cake in particular, well, I'll show you, let me get there. I always take mine, and you can't always be perfect. Doesn't take much, especially me working around this tripod. I might get some mess in here. But I do, you try to not bump the top part of the pan because you'll have to clean that up, and I might have to clean that up. So I just spoon it in like that. This is awkward, so I'm gonna keep doing this off camera and we'll come right back. I'm sorry to keep doing that to y'all, but it really is awkward and I don't want to make a mess. So I'm going to do it off camera and I'll bring it right back. All right, this is what I was talking about. See, I was even trying to be careful. So, but first what I'm going to do is I'm going to come along, and you don't want to overdo this either. Just come around, and should have moved that stand mixer out of my way. Oh well. Real life, folks, real life. And I try to go even, like this is a little higher on this side than it is on this side. So I'm gonna come around and just even it out best I can. All right? Just about as even as I can. I'm gonna come around, just gonna use the edge of my silicone spatula here. Tap it out, take the back, one more little swirl. And I'm gonna clean this up, and when I clean up, I'm just going to get I'm talking 1 or 2 drops of water on a paper towel. It's the easiest way to do it. Let me show you. There isn't a drop of excess water on this. I could squeeze this and there would be no water to come out. So obviously I always get the worst one first. You don't want that to burn on you because you don't want that to get into your cake batter in case it falls off or something. Which it might not, but you don't want that smell in your oven either. So I just come around and I clean it like that. I'm gonna finish doing this and I'll show you right before I put it in the oven. As you can see, I mean, I wasn't exactly perfect. I'll probably hit that spot one more time before it goes in the oven. But as you can see, I got most of it. I also bumped a gear. I'm gonna do this side too. So then after that, it goes in 325 degree oven for in between 35 and 40 minutes. When the top is golden brown, it's done. You'll know it's done. And that's usually always, unless something's major wrong with your oven, it's gonna be between 35 and 40 minutes. Okay, when this is golden brown, we'll come back. One really quick mention, I just put it in the oven, so I'm not gonna pull it back out, but I did, and for the 3rd time, everything's always below, as you know. So all the instructions will be below. But before you preheat your oven, take your bottom rack and take it to the lowest position in your oven, okay? And what I usually do is I just take my top rack and I put it as high as it'll go, and then I never have any trouble, okay? But to bake the cake, you want the cake on the lowest possible setting for your shelves, as low as it'll go when you put it in. I'll see you in a little bit. This is very hot, and as you can see, I maneuver around the table so I can get my cooler rack on here. Now, here's the thing you're not gonna do. You're not gonna cool it like that. Don't do that. You don't wanna do that. You want to not have it collapse upon itself. What you're gonna wanna do is very carefully turn it upside down in this pan. Now, this one is a smaller angel food tube pan. You can, if you've got something like, I don't know, maybe a Coke bottle, Perrier bottle, anything kind of like that. Glass, of course. And you can invert it on that. But I just use a regular old cooling rack. And I'll tell you about me, it's hot, it's the South, and even when it's not hot, I have readily available to me, a buzz fan. Yes, a buzz fan. And all I'm going to do is I'm not going to try to blow it away, but on a medium, just keep the air circulating underneath, cooler air. I do that when I'm cooling my cakes. I point a fan at it and I'll let the cool air circulate. Now, I'll see you in an hour, because guess what? Don't touch this cake for an hour. You're still going to have to, I'll show you when we get there, but it's not going to just tap out like a regular cake. It's not going to do that. You'll have to use a knife and go around, okay? But we'll get that when it's cool enough to handle, and that's at least an hour from now. So, and one more thing I want to add. I would like to make mention. Don't peek at your cake. Do not go back and forth. Every time you open the cake, the door, you're losing temp in the oven, which is messing up the cake. So that just goes in general. Don't be a peeker. Have you a good oven light. Make sure you can see through your oven door very well. Other than that, time it. Don't be a peeker over and over and over. I'm not saying anybody will slip up. I've done it myself. Alrighty, I'm gonna shut up. See you in an hour. Ding, 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 it's been an hour. And obviously you don't see the cooling rack anymore, so I definitely know I can handle it. You see I'm touching it all over. And now, this part is very simple. Let me try to get it where you can see it. Pretty easy. You just go in, and you want a knife that's gonna be long enough, that's gonna be thicker than the cake itself, okay? Long paring knife or something like that. And you're not slicing, you're not going up and down like that, but you're just gonna come around, trying to do it where you can see it, whoops. And now, I'm also not trying to serve this and be gorgeous. You're gonna see it in the next video or two. I don't know what order I'm gonna release these, of what I'm going to do with this. It'll either be the video after this or the video after the next video. All right, so as you can see, I just made a circle all the way around. Do the same thing right here in the center, just coming around. Probably trying to rush it a little bit. I don't want to tear it any more than I have to. All right, now, so we have that part done. So now, what I'm doing, see that part where I cut it, and of course I can handle this part. So now look, I can just I can lift that. I just lifted it right out. Do you see that? And now, before I do anything else, I'm gonna take the same knife and I'm just gonna slide and go around underneath. Try to zoom in on that if I can. Pretty straightforward. Boom. Feels like it's right, but just to be sure, I usually make one more pass underneath, because this is the part where you can break it. All right, I think I got it. And now, the moment of truth. Here we go. Ta-da! You just kind of center it on your plate, if that's how you're going to do it. You can drizzle chocolate, do whatever you like to do it. But that's not what I'm going to do with this ancient food cake. So you'll have to find out in the next video what I'm doing with this ancient food cake. In the meantime, I will cut you a slice and let you see how gorgeous this is on the inside. I had to get my bread knife. I said bread knife. See this? Bread knife. Something serrated is better than smooth. Because smooth, have you ever tried to cut an ancient food cake that you just bought at the store or something, and I'm not going to ruin my cake by doing that, but it just mashes it down while you're trying to cut. Then it smushes together. So if you take a bread knife, you can just kind of saw like that. Look at that. Now I'm cutting it this way on purpose. If I was just serving the angel food cake, I would cut it a different way, but you'll find out in that video what I'm showing you, why I'm cutting it this way. But anyway, I want you to see this beautiful cake on the inside. And I guarantee you that tastes good. I've made this too many times. I know this is a great recipe. So I hope you're going to try this. I hope you're going to like it. And until next time, angel food cake. As always, y'all, thank you for watching. I sincerely mean it. Thank you. Bye.